When I saw my ex-wife again, she was now the country's most coveted A-list star. Additionally, I continued to waste time at a tiny film production business. The golden couple were her and her first love, on-screen couple loved by millions of fans. After repeatedly being harassed by them in the end, I decided on divorce. This evening we finished filming, and the creator took all of us to a nightclub for a celebration. Two curvaceous women were positioned between me, drinking away. Next, my famous ex-wife kicked open the door to the private room, jerked me out of my chair, yelled, "You've shown courage now!" while moving stealthily behind my back. "Do you want me to kill you?" First Chapter 1 was immediately enraged by Zoe's controlling tone. "It's none of your damn business what I do." I shoved her away and stumbled back to my seat 3 steps. "Leo, how did you get rid of yourself? That icy, breathtaking splendor. Be careful that she doesn't let you down." "How could I tell? She is utterly insane," helplessly I answered. "Maybe she's interested in you, Leo. Perhaps your lucky days are not far off." That sparked rumors. Frenzy, everyone turned to see me, their eyes glimmering. There is undoubtedly something present. She always wants you to join the crew each time she shoots. She is also consistently absurdly giving to you. She might be attempting to hook up with you. Oh, I see. She also bought you some clothes, didn't he? My ex-wife and I made a chilly eye contact. Put an end to the bullshit. Henry is with her. They will soon tie the knot for the second time. A second marriage? A famous person has already been married. Actually, I stopped participating in their conversation. I got up and shoved Zoe out of the way. I have tasks to complete. If you'd like to have a drink, there are many men present who would be delighted to have you around. Farewell, superstar. Chapter 2. I've always believed that I still harbor affections for my ex-wife. However, tonight her 2 perfect features didn't impress me in any way. The man who used to go above and beyond for her had already drowned in that marriage that was doomed. We had been married in secret for 7 years. However, we were unable to withstand the notorious 7-year itch. Our 3rd wedding anniversary was the tipping moment. That evening she celebrated by holding a live-streamed extravaganza. Stars crowded the stage as the first love returned to show business. Half of the entertainment business saw their adorable, ideal love. In the stream, they danced slowly and flirted with each other, like they were meant to be. From behind their screens, fans let out a yell, insisting that they become a legitimate couple. "Zoe, you have restored my faith in love." God, it hurts how sweetly they stared at each other. Stay together. Stay together. Lastly, the world seems whole. On one side, a brilliant, heart-wrenching tale of love. Conversely, I had a fever and was at home, looking after our kid who is 3 years old. The glamour, the sound, the romance and fairy tales, none of it was related to me in some way. The most important thing to me was how she claimed to be murmuring romantic nothings to him while occupied with work. I believed I had become numb. However, my eyes continued to flush. My daughter saw my red cheeks and gave me my fever medication softly. "No, Daddy. The fever will gone, if you take this." I took the nasty tablet and swallowed. At that moment outside the door came the echo of high heels. "Daddy, back of Mommy." She hurried to the door and opened it, then came back with her head lowered. "It's Daddy, not Mommy. Is Mommy's absence due to my misbehavior?" I had the impression that I had been punched in the chest. I gave my tender little girl a tight hug. I was unable to tell her the truth. Her mother didn't even want her. When Zoe suddenly became pregnant, her demand was for an abortion. I even pleaded with her for my life. It made no difference. Not until the physician issued a warning that the lining of her uterus was excessively thin one. If she had more abortions, she wouldn't be a mother once more. That she reluctantly became a mother. However, to maintain her physique, she didn't ever breastfeed. She didn't ever hold our daughter. She viewed her as an adversary, as though she were our daughter. Destroyed her innocence and naive picture of the girl next door. Mom is simply very busy. From now on, Daddy will always be by your side. All right, my daughter firmly grasped my hand. All right, Daddy, you go. We're the glue squad. I leave, Pinky swear. Perhaps it's time for us to actually go. I didn't want to be a shadow anymore. And neither did my girl. Following her bedtime, I took my phone outside onto the balcony. My head was filled with memories. When did it all begin? Perhaps it never did. I simply continued to deceive myself that it had to keep me alive. God, it aches because I'm so foolish. Chapter 3. I pressed the button. Conversely, the snarky ringtone was the same. Thank you for honestly lying to me for once. Again and again till I started crying. Just then did the call connect at last. Her voice, frigid as ever, came in my ear. What is it? I felt confident. Enough to ask for a divorce? However, what emerged instead was, "What are you doing?" "Working." It was always the same response. She no longer even bothered to come up with an excuse. Even as her first love's laughing, Henry reverberated in the distance. Knowing this, I loathed myself for being so pitiful. Everything, but still deciding to make myself look bad. Zoe, let's get a divorce. At 9 tomorrow. Bureau of Civil Affairs. She hesitated for a moment, clearly becoming impatient. Is this meant to be humorous? A blank divorce agreement will be brought by me. You can fill it out however you like. All I'm asking for is custody of our daughter. For the first time, I ended the call with her. The breeze carried my tears away. After some time, I got to work packing. Apart from my daughter, I could abandon everything else. Allow the past to float away with the breeze. However, when I packed, I came to the realization that certain things were really ugly. Our house was crowded with reminders of my love for her. Parent-child attire that matches clothing, of a couple watches, of a couple 2 mugs. However, most never use due of her lack of cooperation. It's obvious whether someone loves you or not. Fortunately, I must have been blind for all of these years. In our one and only picture together, she appeared distant and aloof. While I was beaming, like if I were putting a frigid butt up against a warm face, the distance between us was comparable to a barber's straight razor. My side is always scorching. Hot, very cold against hers. The following morning, when I woke up, I had never felt so light. This is how it feels to let go then. A way to save oneself. Following my daughter's kindergarten drop-off, I went directly to the Bureau of Civil Affairs. While awaiting Zoe, I spotted a fresh post from her first love. Henry. It was filled with celebs, champagne, fresh flowers, fingers that are intertwined along with a striking kiss mark. According to the description, loving you means wishing to give. All to you. After giving it to glances, I let it go. However, it turned out that tranquility came from letting go. The agony I experienced was just for the time I used to love. Henry even privately sent me the letter, as though he was worried that I wouldn't notice how happy he was. I took a seat at Civil Affairs Bureau, acts foolishly throughout the day. However, Zoe never appeared. Even when I was asked to leave by security, I remained resolutely dialing the number to which no response would ever come. The guard made an effort to console me. If she doesn't show up, she might not desire a divorce. Return home. Try to figure things out. I gave a headshake. She never even returns home. With whom should I work it out? The guard gave me a pitying glance and secretly gave me a pamphlet on the formal divorce procedure. Getting out of the bureau. I hurried to purchase some every day, essentials, and went back to my tiny apartment. After hurriedly cleaning up, my kid was at school, so I went to pick her up. She adored the location. It seemed more like home, she added. She was correct. A house does not need to be large. A home is a place where love is abundant, not a large, chilly house. That evening, after telling her a story before bed, Zoe eventually gave me a call. Why haven't you two returned home yet? Not at home. You just got back yourself, didn't you? She never gave any thought to the house, so I'd forgotten. She didn't even realize we were gone, which made sense. Before I could respond, she also said, I brought you a gift. Return soon. I interrupted her. You were so busy that you didn't. Have time for a divorce? Divorce? What are you discussing? I spent the entire day waiting at the Civil Affairs Bureau. If you fail to appear once more, I'll bring legal action. Leah, what's bothering you? The reasons behind divorce? Everything is good. I chuckled, angry at her lack of self-respect. Why were we unable to part amicably? You've previously shown the world your romantic life via live stream. We should just make it official. We're not petty individuals. I called her again and hung up. No, that was pleasant. We're divorcing, no need. To waste more words? I was just getting my daughter's small backpack organized. The doorbell rang. This late, is she there? Indeed. Zoe walked straight in after opening the door. She wore a long, tight dress. Her physique is gorgeous. Unruly hair, she was unquestionably gorgeous, with a delicate pink face. Had it not been for her icy demeanor and eyes that seemed intent on murder, she would be the ideal deity. I was a simp once. My knees would weaken at the sight of her glare. Whatever she said, I did as I was told without question. I never dared to disobey her because she was my Empress Dowager. However, currently deprived of the illusion of love, she had slipped out of my heaven right into everyday life. Being love-brained turns out to be an illness, one that has to be cured. Her sudden appearance reminded I had to switch the locks. Tomorrow. First things first. Chapter 4. The slave was prepared to rise, beginning by losing faith in love. Zoe approached me gradually, the gardenia aroma wafting into my nostrils. I felt angry that wasn't her scent. That was her beloved brother Henry's fragrance. If I inquired, she would undoubtedly say it by accident, accuse me of being neurotic, and rubbed off on her. She gave me a card icily. Get a gift on your wedding anniversary. This was her normal manner of apologizing. Each time she irritated me, she would throw a card at me like I was a toy for boys. She was providing financial help, and money could make everything better. Perhaps she hadn't even realized there were these cards are already stacked in the house. I removed the divorce papers and pushed the card away, giving them to her. Observing that I did not embrace her generosity with gratitude, she must have made fun of me. Within, it's impossible to even take the simple route out. Well, I'm not interested in any of your money. All I want is our daughter's custody. What she was stalling for was beyond me. She should be glad to be free of our two responsibilities. Shouldn't she? She had always believed that her chance was ruined by marrying me. At achieving fame, that I had enticed her away from her significant other. She should benefit from letting go, shouldn't it? I gave her a pen, wishing she would sign right away. Zoe snapped and dropped the pen. The reason for all of this is that I helped Henry organize a reception for his comeback. So why are you behaving so strangely? What is required of us in our divorce? Do you want to throw him a party? Zoe gazed at me, completely confused. She was shocked that I had the audacity to address her in this manner. You simply feel envious of Henry. You watched the live stream last night, did you not? My conscience is clear. I streamed it for that reason. I'm not excluding you in any way. But what's to the extent of putting oneself in a social group in which you don't fit in? She voiced her displeasure. Blaming me, however, I didn't give a damn. I just gave the pen to her once more. We don't have a financial disagreement. Let's just finish this up. There was an uncomfortable quiet in the room. After a protracted silence, Zoe's voice was icy. I acknowledge I ought to have informed you about assisting Henry yesterday with his celebration. All right, this Saturday, ask him to supper there. East District Private Kitchen. The reservation is made by you. Remember to warn them not to eat anything spicy. Then, without even turning around, she departed, not bothering to say anything nice. I couldn't speak. This is what being a simp is like, damn it. Gets you just embarrassment. I took my phone out and filed for divorce online. I'm grateful for contemporary technology because it makes the somewhat less convoluted path to divorce. All I had to do now is wait for the court to give me a fair verdict after you accept the case. Chapter 5. In the days that followed, I warmed up our tiny house. In safe, didn't only swap out the locks, I replaced the entire door. With a high-end security model. 5 o'clock, I was preparing a healthy supper for my daughter while the phone was constantly ringing. At last, Zoe was feeling what it felt like. Similar to the times I was unable to contact her in the past. After setting the phone too quiet, I carried on lovingly preparing dinner. Following a warm dinner with my daughter, my phone's screen continued to flash, and couldn't resist sneering at the irony. When I did respond, on the other end, A furious cry sprang forth. "Leonardo, where in hell are you?" "In the house." "Why didn't you make a meal reservation? Are you really this untrustworthy?" "Whatever. Come on over here, don't keep us waiting, else you'll be sorry." Furiously, she hung up. It nearly made me chuckle. Let's see if anyone truly regrets it. I took up the divorce. Agreement it would be better to meet them, should she sign at last. We can accelerate this. Prior to departing, I inquired once more with my daughter, if without her mother, she would be too depressed. Ultimately, nobody can ever fully replace a mother's love. However, my daughter merely taunted me and chuckled. "I don't require a mother. It's enough to have a loving father. You are the one who is unable to let go of mommy, Dad. Daddy, we must love ourselves and be powerful. From now on, only those who love us will be loved by us." Look, I never grasped life as well as my own child did. Once she settled in to get to the private dining restaurant, I took a car. I opened the private room. Everyone cheered and hooted. There was a lot of flirting going on. When they first saw me, there was quiet. Zoe and Henry were sipping cross-cupped toast. Like conjoined twins, they clinged to one another. Her sparkling smile was one that I had never seen. Rita, Zoe's best friend, hurried to her feet and requested an additional set of cutlery. "Whoa, Leo didn't think you would show up." I apologized for the oversight. The manner in which she stated it, I came across as an unwanted extra. I was given that smirk by everyone, critical gaze. Zoe remained silent, keeping her glass in her hand. Henry provided fictitious justifications, but there was smug provocation in his eyes. "We are merely making jokes. Don't be serious about it." Calmly, I sat down. Indeed, there was no chili in any of the dishes. My heart fell. Rita kept the celebration going, pretending that I wasn't even present. Once everyone had had enough to eat, Rita gave me a sarcastic smile. "Leo, in a previous life, did you preserve the universe? How else did you manage to get our gorgeous Zoe?" The audience leaped in. "Indeed, what a goddess. You're fortunate that she married you at all. Ought should have worshipped her. The more spoilt women are, the better. The more powerful they get, men shouldn't be overindulged in spoiling, and they become jerks." They continued doing this, acting as though they are their entire intended to reduce me to dust. I was growing tired. Henry clasped Zoe's hand and gave me a chilly stare. "My life's love is Zoe. I hope you never cause her to cry again." Shh. "Yes, sweethearts. From childhood, you hadn't butted in, they would have been wed long ago." It fanned the flames. They all appeared to have forgotten how, prior to Zoe's family's bankruptcy, Henry's mom had made fun of and compelled them to split up. Back then, it was entirely my fault. Henry uttered those words. "I ought not to have paid attention to my mother. I went overseas and left you behind." Zoe gazed at him with tears in her eyes, brimming with love. "If you ever cause her harm, I'll give you a severe beating. Won't be able to tell where your teeth fell." I got to my feet, seized Henry's collar, and pressed my face on it. "Take action. Outdo me now. Hurry up." Henry attempted to escape, smashing and pressing too hard himself against the table's edge. Zoe hurried to assist him, glaring at me like I'm dead. "Leonardo, are you crazy?" I'll apologize to Henry. However, Henry got too, his feet with a gloomy grin. "This, therefore, is who you really are, angry erratic. Don't hold it against me for taking Zoe. You're not worthy of her." I gave them a chilly look. "You don't have to take her. You own her." The divorce agreement was thrown onto the table by me. "Put your signature on it. Your wedding night shouldn't be postponed." Chapter 6. My face was sprayed with a tumbler of crimson wine. Zoe angrily pointed at me. "Leonardo, keep your mouth shut." Henry hurried to console her, putting on his typical phony front. "Don't misunderstand. We have never gone too far. She is too sacred to be soiled. She is my deity." Strategy was always to make me appear to be the villain that cannot be forgiven when he acted as the misunderstood hero. "Then get the darn documents signed by your goddess. Bring her home so you can worship." I can no longer afford her. Zoe's face grew more darker. "I am simply buddies with Henry. Simply friendship. It isn't as filthy as you think. Please quit being so repulsive. Your dirty thoughts makes me feel ashamed. You'd better apologize to Henry right now, or I will never be able to forgive you." I couldn't stop giggling. From the absurdity of it all, Observing this stranger that I once loved, I inquired Zoe, "What authority do you have to command me?" "My ex-wife is you." There was utter silence in the room. Henry's eyes glowed with happiness. He had a smug smile on his lips. Leonardo is the party Zoe gave for me, still the subject of this. He purposefully stated it to remind I would never be able to compete with him. If that's the focus of this, yes, then I'm sorry. All Zoe wanted to do was help me find new resources. Win-win. She had simply forgotten that it was the day of your wedding anniversary. There Zoe sat, posing as the one who has been wronged. She could hardly control her anger. "Leonardo, stop it now. You always bring up divorce as if it were a danger. Why did Henry already apologize? Do you continue to act so ungrateful?" "Yes, not even able to handle a joke, individuals like you outside of our circle. Simply put, you lack perspective." Everyone began talking as if I were the issue. Threw away the divorce documents, turned to go and stepped upon the table. "Leonardo," you paused there. "On our 3rd anniversary, you weren't even at home. You have no right to judge me. All you want is money. Over the years, haven't I given you enough?" Just as I was leaving the room, I heard that Tand almost fell over in anger. There was a chorus of derisive laughing behind me. Henry then produced a check, pointing it in my direction. "If money can be used to fix it, then there isn't a serious issue. Enter any number you choose here. Simply say you're sorry, Zoe." I looked. At this ridiculous duo, their strange reasoning truly baffled me. Put money aside to burn as spirit money for yourselves after death, so in hell, you don't arrive broke. Having said that, I turned and left, walking directly into the chilly northern wind. I didn't understand. "Wouldn't you sign the divorce papers? Formalize their relationship?" She consistently stated that she desired a fresh start. Why did Zoe continue to drag this out? Prior to my arrival tonight, I assumed she would be delighted to sign, that she would want to leave at last public with their partnership. Her companions would then make fun of and humiliate me. Everyone would applaud the lovely. At last, the bloom emerged from the cow manure. The girl would go to Henry. Everyone would be content. With just a signature, we would both be set free. Not until the chilly wind had carried away all a tiny bit of illusion in my head that I returned to my vehicle. I noticed that Henry had emailed me additional pictures at that point, images of them enjoying a delicious toast, romantically holding, hands hugging close to one another. Henry gazed down at her, as though she in his arms was a precious gem. "If you don't value her, give up so that I can love her." I looked at the pictures and sneered. Thus, this is how it appears when you know. Longer even try to hide it. Chapter 7. Throughout the following month, on multiple occasions, I took my daughter to court. Following the submission of all necessary paperwork, at last, the divorce decision was issued. From then on, I was free, and so was my kid. Every day, wishing she would return home. No more being cautious, frightened about making her angry, and more descending into hopelessness whenever she showed Henry how much she loved him. I was overjoyed. I celebrated by taking my daughter out. We visited an amusement park. It had always been her dream to come. She was never permitted to consume the junk food we had. I even got her the bright, she always claimed to detest, the Barbie pink ensemble date. In the evening, my daughter was sleeping when I carried her home. The instant we exited the elevator, I was shocked by her. Zoe collapsed at our door, intoxicated, pathetic, with watery eyes. She hurried to her feet, smoothing her garments. "Why are you here?" She bowed her head, appearing frail and pathetic, caught, surprised at how drastically my tone had altered. "Why did you alter the locks without providing the code to me? I apologize. I call this place home. No longer yours. I understand." She gave those big blinks, naive looks at me as if I were the one causing her pain. I brought my daughter inside. Avoiding her, she trailed behind like a tiny shadow. I put my daughter to sleep. As Zoe entered the room by chance, wondering when she noticed the face of the sleeping, she had never actually held a daughter. She froze in a trance and never actually kissed. "We are currently divorced. You're not supposed to be here. If this is captured by the paparazzi, it won't look nice." I utilized the one item she used to strike her where it hurts most. She was surprised at how quickly the roles were reversed. Infuriated, she left the bedroom with a vengeance. She took out a number of credit cards from they were thrown on the coffee table along with her purse. What is this? You believe that I didn't make that much money acting? Absolutely not. I have had enough of myself. Hold on to them. Make use of them as your dowry. Anger twisted her face. So you're not taking my money anymore? What, are you also rejecting me? It was all hype between myself and him, as I already told you. Why don't you trust me? Our divorce is already finalized. I have no say in what you do from now on. I disagree with this divorce. Absurd. Did she believe I was kidding? Divorce is a serious matter. It's not children's pretend. Whether you concur or not, the court has already made a decision. We're done, fully and legally. She gazed at me, heartbroken. Abruptly, new text started to beep constantly on my phone. I picked it up naturally. Once more, Henry. Images of them embracing, cheek to cheek, looking directly into each other's eyes, grinning. After taking the phone away from me, Zoe browsed through, identifying the well-known set of pictures that Henry had previously sent. She gazed at them in shock once more, and once more, until she verified that Henry's account was actually the sender. That's how it was then. Not surprising. Leo, Henry, and myself, in fact, we both of you are doing well. I think you all right. There's no need to elaborate. At last, Zoe let her go. Act distant, she started crying and fled. I saw her silhouette fade away down the corridor and wanted to run after her out of instinct. Ultimately, the only woman I had ever met was her. In the first half of my life, I was genuinely adored. Even though she was wrenched away, she was the flesh of my heart. The blood continues to flow, slowly, and now I eagerly await the day when the wound is healed. Chapter 8. For the ensuing 2 years, besides watching her on television, she never again showed up in front of us. However, the substantial amounts of child support were always paid. Immediately, there is something lovely about time. It enables you to forget about everyone. There was a time you wanted to forget, till one day I was unable to locate my daughter at kindergarten, and I was surprised I found out she was back. I am also her mother. I am entitled to visitation. She annoyed me, behaving independently, but what could I do? She was the biological mother. Observing her clumsily attempting to win our daughter over, it was impossible for me not to feel sorry for her. She was born to you. Never cared for her, and now you believe that you can simply start over. She purchased clothing that was too small. The shoes were too small. When my daughter caught sight of me, she rushed directly into my arms. Daddy, is she my mother? Zoe's eyes swelled as though I had caused her pain. Don't take it personally. Kids forget things fast. Sweetheart, she is your mother. Do you not recall? No, Dad. She's a famous actress, not your mother. She was on TV. Zoe was so embarrassed that she froze. Except for her own children, everyone knew her name. Something shifted in my stomach. She won't return to battle me for custody. Is she just for a second? I had the crazy impulse to go away with my daughter. Ignore it. Let the stars decide. At work the following day, I received the worst news. Zoe, the well-known actress, had agreed to a contract with our business. Her sole ailment, her personal assistant, had to be me. I was taken aback. What the devil was this stunt? Somebody assist me. What sort of perverse prank was this? She came to visit our daughter yesterday. She is now my boss. Tomorrow. Will she be arriving with Henry to show me how much they adore me? Please help me. I would rather not have an eye infection as a result of seeing the mess. However, for the money I choose to put up with it. Thank goodness, on the day she returned to work, she didn't do anything unusual. However, after work in the garage in the basement, she was there, blocking my car's door. Hurry up. Let's go to school and get our daughter. Gazed at her when she was wearing some. It felt unreal to be a perfect mother and wife. Not necessary. She will be picked up by my mom today. Lesson on the piano. Oh well. What about dinner? My reward. I waved her away in a hurry. Thank you, but no, I have a date.
8.
With whom am I acquainted with her? Bring me along.
Eyes.
Her eyes were optimistic as she gazed at me. I forcefully closed the car door. It's a female. It's not suitable. I stepped on the gas and left the garage, heart filled of conflicting feelings. If only she had made a different decision at the time, it could be time for me to start over. Due to honestly, she made me nervous. The tree desired tranquility. However, the wind persisted, and it has a plan in case the wind doesn't cease. I had considered perhaps, if she ever turned around, I would concede. For our daughter, assign her a whole family. But at last I understood, no one could ever have Zoe as his own. Men were merely stepping stones for her as she ascended higher. To view more. Myself, I had lost my right to serve as that stepping stone. That night, a writer and I had supper together. You just talking about a project. We were conversing. Giggling, lifting our eyeglasses when Zoe showed up, stylishly dramatic, and grabbed the glass of wine out of my grasp. Reduce your alcohol intake. Your stomach isn't feeling well. The female author gave us a smile, amused. I was about to explain. When Zoe assumed control of this, she started talking and attacked. Don't misunderstand. His wife is me. Our daughter is 6 years old. Yes, I have been occupied. I missed our time together. I will, however, always be the most significant female figure in their lives. I don't want our relationship to be ruined by anyone, so please avoid him at all costs. All right? The author gave a charming smile, raising her eyebrows in response. Okay, whoa, major celebrity. Don't you have Henry with you? The entire internet is aware. You two are divorced too. Even the divorce certificate has been shown to me. Therefore, whatever is happening between me, it's kind of none of your business. Now, Leo, is it? Correct, my dear. I was astounded by Zoe's spectacular performance, subtly inarticulate. Leo, you had better take care of your personal matters quickly. My folks are very excited to meet you. With a light-hearted wink with ease, the writer turned and left. Zoe Red Eyes requested, "Who is she?" I told you about my girlfriend, the kind, with whom I am discussing marriage. I turned to go. However, she mistook me for was pursuing the other female. She seized me and flung herself into my embrace, not letting go. Leo the first came to apologize today. I was mistaken. It's time to reunite. Without hesitation, I pressed lightly. She stepped back and maintained a respectable distance. What's the matter? Have you not already landed? You're the ideal national husband? No, Henry and I were never truly together. We're only a screen couple, so it was all a publicity stunt. I was merely complying. He treated me well because he desired to have access to my contacts to use me to ascend higher. He is nothing more than a bottom feeder who digs for gold. Even requested that I amuse those repulsive elderly men. Give up, that is no longer relevant to me. Started crying uncontrollably. She gave me a look that suggested I had deceived her. Honey, you have no idea how the entertainment industry is cruel. I'm worn out. Give me an opportunity to return home, please. Beseech you, let's get married again. I would like to see you and our daughter once more. I noticed how fragile she was. So delicate, as pathetic as a tiny white flower, but I was no longer compelled to keep her safe. As it happens, once your heart is irreparably broken, the wounds never truly go away. Her fingers were stuck to the hem of my coat and left without turning around. On the way home, the author sent me a message. If I ever needed a human shield, she said she would be present. Additionally, she discussed how lastly, she made fun of you must be so accustomed to perfect goddesses. Most likely you can't tolerate us. No longer typical mortal girls. I shook my head and laughed. Getting married, perhaps divorced and getting remarried is just one big mistake. Perhaps living alone with my daughter is actually not such a horrible concept. Chapter 9. Time passed quickly once more. I distributed another set of paychecks after there was a significant announcement at work. We were going to shoot a movie on an island, the principal actress Zoe, and naturally she asked me to accompany her expressly. She made me make innumerable sets of erotic swimwear and sensual lingerie. The first evening following our arrival, she demanded that I assist her in choosing clothes. Gazing at her curvaceous body, I nearly turned around and fled. She froze me in place with just a few sentences. I'll deduct your salary. People claim that observing a lovely woman is enjoyable in a way. However, at that time it was torturous. My cold, glitzy ex-wife, transforming into one skimpy ensemble after another. Sexy, sensual, invincible, it seemed like someone was removing my sanity, layer by layer. She had hook-like eyes, tearing at me slowly. Am I attractive? Beautiful, destructively gorgeous. Let's get married again. From now on, I will only be yours. Perhaps it was my residual marital phobia, however. Those comments immediately pulled me out of temptation and brought me back to the present. I shook my head firmly. No, we are unable to return. I am aware that I made a mistake. Do you not want to give me another chance? As she stated, she removed everything gradually. A surge of vertigo swept through me. I wanted to run, but I couldn't get my feet off the ground. Her lips were about to touch mine. I looked away. Tears fell down her pallid cheeks like crystals. Why does a single error warrant a life sentence? Her makeup mirror was pushed off the table by me. The glass broke into a web of fissures. Unsteady, she stood there, susceptible. I grabbed a robe and placed it over her shoulders gently, then left in silence. I shut the door after myself. I noticed a window on the other side of the hallway. Outside, the moon was full and dazzling. It illuminated the road in front of me.